What's up, Pirate Nation? I'm your host, Bryant McInerney, and welcome to a brand new edition of Hall Talk. I know and I completely understand that last year was one for the record books. It marked the first time that the men's and women's basketball team found themselves dancing at the same time since 1994. But at the same time, it hurts to say, but we need to forget about the name Isaiah Whitehead. With basketball season looming around the corner, Coach Kevin Willard has already forgotten about his star player and put his focus into a high expectation season. With that being said, we're going to break down everyone you need to watch and be prepared for this year. In addition, me and my panel are going to break down what teams are going to make it or break it in the Strong Big East Conference. So stick along for the ride because this is Hall Talk. Welcome back, everyone. I'm alongside my panel of Frank Frasco and Matt Lamb. Well, guys, let's get knee deep into it right now. Basketball season's coming around. We're getting deep into it. We're with Isaiah Whitehead, and we're looking at who's going to step up for this team at point guard. Frank?
And it's tough because he was a great player. We obviously know that. I'm looking at Kadeem Carrington and Miles Powell to step up for this team, especially the freshman Powell. You're coming out, he's a great shooter. I think he's going to be a spark for this team. I think he's going to make an impact.
I mean, Isaiah Whitehead was the point guard for this team last year. You saw it towards the end of the season. Now, who's going to step into that point guard role? There really isn't one true point guard that we're seeing on this team right now. There's a lot of different ball handlers and distributors on this team. Obviously, Kadeem Carrington will be one that spends time both at the 1 and the 2 this year. Guys that could fill in at the 1, Javon Thomas is somebody that will be eligible for Big East play come late December, as well as Madison Jones, who will probably start the season as a starting point guard.
Now, you think Madison Jones is going to start, though, at the top of the season?
For the beginning of the season, I believe so in the first game.
I don't agree with that.
No?
I really don't. I think you're going to give it to the freshman.
Now,
that's my opinion.
No,
yeah.
I'm very up in there about
It's
that
all
myself.
up in there right now because they're all great point guards.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You really have to think about it like that. They're all
Besides
great.
the 4 returning starters, that one spot is really kind of void.
Now, breaking it down a little bit farther past the point guard position, who are you placing in as your starting 5 this year? Who is your starting rotation? Who are you putting out there on the roster to go up against these big Big East Conference teams?
I'm going with the 4 returning starters from last year.
Okay.
And I'm going with the freshman, Powell. And I'm putting it on the freshman.
I mean, I think Miles Powell is going to definitely see a lot of playing time. This year, he'll definitely have to earn his minutes as, the other players on the team. Starting 5, you have Angel Delgado starting in the 5, Ishmael Sonogo at power forward, Desi Rodriguez at the 3. Kadeem Carrington can see time, at both point and shooting guard, depending if you have Miles Powell there. More of a shooting guard, more of a sharpshooter kind of guy. If you're at the point guard, I believe that Madison Jones will start out this season just because of his veteran leadership, playing at Wake Forest.
Yes.
And then once you come into Big East play, Javon Thomas really saw some real grit in the Big 12. So you can really see a lot of different rotations.
And that's going to be interesting. Is Kadeem going to be a point guard or a shooting guard?
Well, that's
the
why,
question.
Exactly. Is Madison Jones going to come in there and be that starting point guard, or is it going to be Kadeem? And that's what we have to break down right now. Now, who's going to be the jersey seller for this team? Who's going to be the guy that's selling tickets and jerseys for the Seton Hall basketball team this season?
I mean, I believe that without Isaiah Whitehead, that's really going to be up in the air for anybody. I believe that Angel Delgado is going to be that one player that really is going to become one to step out for the Hall. I mean, he really is one of the best big men in the Big East at this point, has had a lot of playing experience both on the Pirates as well as for the Dominican Republic. So you're going to really see a new and improved player. He's put in a lot of work this offseason. Definitely think that he'll come out strong.
I completely agree with you. He actually averaged a double last season. 9.9 points per game, 9.3 rebounds per game. I want to say yes to that. I want to say another leader, Kadeem. Kadeem, 14.2 points per game last season.
Second to Whitehead.
Second to Whitehead. Whitehead had 18.2. So I think that Kadeem and Angel are going to be the 2 leaders for this team.
Now, you don't think Desi Rodriguez could find his way up in that position? Now, you have to remember, this is Duncan Desi here. This is a guy that in one play can change the momentum of we're down by 10 points to one big play, two big plays back-to-back. You have a lineup that's going crazy. You have a bench that's going off the walls. You don't really see Desi coming up in that spot?
He's a star player. I just don't see him as the leader for this team. I see Angel and Kadeen as the leaders of this team.
Like Ishmael Sanogo, I see Desi as a role player, one that can kind of step into any given situation and really make an impact. Will he be that star player that you can lean on in late game situations to make that big bucket? I believe no. I believe that Kadeen Carrington and Angel Delgado are more of that kind of player.
Okay.
I see Kadeen as being the next Isaiah. That's my prediction.
Well, you heard it right here, everyone. You got it right there. That's your big starting five. That is your roster for this upcoming season. We're going to move over right now, and we're going to break down our top 5 picks for who's going to be the top 5 teams in the Big East this year. You might be shocked about who might win it all this year, actually. Back to the Hall Talk. Welcome back, everyone. Like I promised, I have Frank and Matt breaking down who their top 5 Big East teams are going to be this year and who to watch out for. Frank, Matt, who do we got going this year?
This is very fun. It's interesting, right, Matt?
This is
very
great.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going with Marquette, number 5, okay? And then I'm going to go with Creighton, number 4, okay? And I know they're ranked 23rd in the nation right now, but I have Seton Hall surpassing them, okay? And then I have Villanova, and then finally, Xavier.
Okay. I see all that. Now, Matt, who do you have going in for your top 5 this year, Matt?
Now, I'm going to see something a little bit different here. I'm going to be putting the Georgetown Hoyas here at 5, Hoya Saxa. At 4, Arnold Teutonia, Seton Hall. Pirates, I think, are going to make a big splash this year. At 3, we're looking at Creighton, the Blue Jays. I believe that, just a team that has a great backcourt is going to make a huge impact in the Big East this year. Looking at number 2 is going to be Xavier. Again, another great backcourt in
Matt, why do you
Trayvon
have
Blewett.
Xavier there instead of having Xavier at number 1 like
See, that's
Frank
the
over
thing,
there?
Matt. I look at Trayvon Blewett. He's one of the best shooters in the nation, in my opinion. He's averaging 40% from the three-point line. That's huge. And then you have Edmund Sumner. He's a sophomore. He's 6'6". He's a point guard. And you look at Sumner. He had 22 games where he had double digits in points. He averaged 11 points a game. He can drive to the ball. I think that Xavier is ahead of Nova.
What are you thinking, Matt?
I disagree. I think Villanova is going to be number 1 once again. Just when you look at the resume that they built last year, winning the national championship, they're a very solid team on both ends of the floor when you're looking at offense and defense. Xavier, again, an excellent team that could definitely make a huge postseason run.
A huge thing I'm noticing right now is you don't even have Georgetown on your list at all. Matt, what do you think about that? How he doesn't even have Georgetown. He flip-flopped Georgetown with Marquette. What are you thinking about that?
It's very interesting. I'm not really sure how Marquette's going to fare without Henry Ellenson, a big player last year that was a lottery pick to Detroit this year. I think that Luke Fisher is not really going to be able to step up into that role as the main big man. When you look at Georgetown, great team on paper, faltered a little bit last season, but then when you're looking at Isaac Copeland, again, a real legitimate shot at being a first-team All-Big East player.
My one question I have right now is, for Nova, who do you think is going to replace Daniel Shefu? I mean, that's a tough. He's 6'11", 245 pounds.
As far as big men go, he has to be one of the biggest players in the Big East that has graduated, that has left. When you're looking at the entire conference as a whole, obviously, Villanova has a lot of strong offensive weapons with Chris Jenkins, Josh Hart, the list goes on.
But when you're talking about in the paint, the only person I'm looking at right now is Daryl Reynolds. He's a senior right now, but he's only 6'8", 225 pounds, and only average around 17 minutes a game.
All right, I see where you guys are going with this. Honestly, I think I have to go with Matt on this one. I see Seton Hall more as a 4 rather than a 3, and I really have Georgetown up on that top 5. That's what I really have. Now let's move on a little bit, gentlemen. What do you think the Pirates' record is going to be this year? You have them placed high up there in the top 5 of the Big East. What is their record going to be this year?
I think Seton Hall is going to finish strong, just as they did last year. They're going to finish 21-11 overall, as well as 9-3 in the non-conference slate. Just because when you're looking at their non-conference schedule, very easy games when you're looking, Delaware, Rutgers, Central Connecticut State. It becomes some difficulties when you're looking at Iowa, Big Ten, Big East matchup. Gonzaga has a potential Advocare Invitational setup. Even non-conference games such as Florida and South Carolina could be really giving them
What
problems.
do you think, Frank?
And I agree with you with Iowa. They actually beat Michigan State last year, upset them. Number 1 in the nation they beat them. But you know what? I'm going with a record of 20-10. And the reason why they're ahead of Creighton, it's a new team. And I'm saying new because they just picked up Kansas State junior guard and Marcus Foster.
Yeah.
He's a good player. We're just going to have to see how he deals with being on a new team in Creighton.
Yeah, I can see. You guys are very close within like what your ranking is in the records for both teams. Now, it's interesting the fact of I'm very interested in the fact of how, if you had to look at it, why Creighton is really that flux 3 to 4 position. Now they didn't have a good year. Now they trucked through last year, but they didn't have like the best year as they've had in prior years.
I'm predicting that, I know, they made it to the quarterfinal in the NIT. I understand that. I think that they're going to make a statement this year in the Big East, possibly going to the semifinals, maybe even going to the finals.
Yeah.
We don't know about that team. I think the pickup for the Kansas State guard is huge for this team. Okay. It's big.
Foster and Mo Watson in the backcourt, a deadly tandem. Mo Watson, 5'11", he may be small, but he's able to deliver in a big punch, and he hurt Seton Hall last year, especially in that early January game where Seton Hall fell at home to the Blue Jays. And when you're looking at Creighton, great three-point shooting team. They love to shoot the three, but Seton Hall really knows how to defend the three, so if they're able to do that.
2 quick questions. Number 1, can Seton Hall beat Georgetown? Matt, yes or no?
Georgetown, of course. I think they can beat Georgetown.
Frank, can Seton Hall beat both Creighton and Marquette?
I am having Creighton 1-1 in the series and Marquette 2-0. I think they're going to get 2 wins under
Because you guys both
Marquette.
have them higher than those teams. I understand your logic with the tough non-conference games going on. I completely understand where you're going from that. I like it. I'm a pirate myself.
Yeah.
I love it.
Got to be
Now,
optimistic,
Let's break it down, gentlemen. Who do you think at the end of this year is going to be the 2 teams going at it to win the Big East this year?
Backcourt is going to be Xavier against the veterans in Nova. I see Xavier getting the win, Big East championship.
And when you're looking at the Big East finals, in the conference finals, I don't think Seton Hall is going to make it that far. I think they'll make it to the semifinals. You're going to look at Villanova as, again, another perennial team that makes it there, as well as Creighton, I think, is the dark horse right there, just being a strong, strong team. And at the end of the day, I think Nova comes out on top once again.
Now, personally for me, I'm in love with Seton Hall. You have to remember, this team, they might have had Isaiah carrying them a little bit. They might have had him on their back, but this team has experience. This Pirates team they found a way to get there. They found a way to fight through teams. They had Isaiah do like a Kimber Walker kind of situation. But I truly believe this Pirates team can almost get at least the championship game, if not win it once again this year.
That's what I believe. I say at least the semifinals.
All right.
At least semifinals.
Strong, strong team. They have to be the hunted as opposed to the hunters.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for everything. And thank you all out there, all of you Pirate fans. If you need anything else, come back to Hall Talk because we have all the answers for you. Thank you.